Hello, everyone.
Welcome, everybody. We're going to give people a couple of seconds there. We're trying this for the first time on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously on all of our channels, so you'll have to bear with us. We don't know what kind of delays we have to allow for each platform. And so in the meantime, if anybody's here, if you want to let us know that you exist, let us know that you're here. We would be, happy to say hi.
So my name is Jill.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm a psychic medium and a minister and author and a teacher.
And I'm Frank. I'm your mystic coach mentor for the boundless mind. And that pretty much sounds like Chinese, but I basically coach people on their spiritual path and on their life path. And tonight...
Go ahead, Frank.
Okay, well, tonight we're going to talk about something actually really, really interesting to me. We're going to talk about archangels. And we haven't even spoken about archangels together before tonight, so I'm not sure exactly where we're both, coming from and where we'll end up. So this should be fairly interesting.
So if you're here, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. We like the interaction and the questions, so we know how we're doing. All right.
And so
I'm sure a lot of people have heard of, I'm sure everyone has heard of archangels. We had a little video preview before we started on the archangels. Do you have the comments up? Because I don't see them.
they're under chat. I don't see anything either.
I have them. So we're going to be talking about a few of the archangels. There's many. It's not even, I don't think it's known exactly how many there are. Hey, you want to start us off?
Oh, sorry. I was trying to do the technical side of things and got lost a little bit. Okay, so, number one, I want to first address the our presentation said there are 7 archangels, and well, I believe there's 72. So
And
I'll
I
start.
believe there's
So there you go. So we'll start by adding a few, removing a few, moving them around. But yeah, so neither one of us believes it's 7. So
some are better known. The reason why I put 7 in the video is because I couldn't list them all. You would have had to watch a video without seeing us, and we knew you wanted to see us, so I put them in the video only as 7.
yeah,
Definitely believe there's more than 7.
well, it depends on whatever system, right? Some systems believe there's 7. Some systems believe that there's, I mean, there's different systems out there, right? I work with one system. I can't say, yeah, I can't speak for the ones I don't work with. But anyhow, so did you want to, take it first? Like, what is the meaning of an archangel for you, from your standpoint?
Angels are interwoven within the culture of man, regardless of your religion or your belief system. Stories of angels are a part of our heritage. Um, Recent surveys say that up to 85% of American adults believe in angels. Often references to angels refer specifically to an archangel. Archangels are considered to be very powerful spiritual beings. They have captivated our attention for centuries. The prefix arch begins ruling, means ruling or chief in religious texts refer to an archangel as being a high level in the celestial, I can't say that word, hierarchy. While the exact number of archangels are unknown, many traditions and faiths reference 7 archangels. And neither one of us practice a specific religion to say that we believe in 7, which is where the 7 comes in. Um, the exact number of archangels are unknown. Many traditions and faiths reference 7 archangels. These 7 are also known or a source of debate varying on faith to faith. Many scriptures tell of the archangels' great abilities as healers and guides, intervening with assistance in many of life's challenging situations. Continue to learn about the archangels for your own beliefs. Everyone believes something different. We're not trying to change people's beliefs. We're just trying to spread our beliefs, if that makes sense. Sorry, somebody's cutting the grass. I don't know if y'all hear that or not.
Yeah, a little bit, but
So the
um,
first archangel we're going to talk about is Michael. He's like one of the more popular archangels.
so how about, like, are we gonna read, or are you gonna talk about Michael?
We're gonna do both because I need
Because
something to
I'd like
go
to know
on.
what you think about Michael. I really don't care what
Well,
Wikipedia thinks about him.
Michael is more of a angel to help you. Like when you need some help, pray to Archangel Michael. If you believe in prayer, of course. Um, what do you think about Michael?
Well, Michael is the angel, the archangel of fire. He's the archangel that directs. He's the right hand of God when it comes to sending an angel to do, like, he's the wrath of God, if you will. He's the warrior angel. But that's because he represents the element of fire. And his position is in the south.
We use Archangel Michael when we are working with um, cutting cords. We ask to use his sword in a cord cutting ceremony.
Hmm.
That's something common that I do with Archangel Michael. Um, his name means God. So go ahead, take forward.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think, like, I'm not sure that talking about particular angel. Well, I don't know. Maybe talking about particular angels is useful. But I'm wondering more about angels as a whole, right? Like, what do they mean? Why do we care? Why do we why do I need to know that there are angels, and what will it change in my life, right? And in that respect, then I think working with angels can be excessively powerful, because angels are the energy that was sent from source to they're the in between matter and source, God, whatever you want to call it, right? And they're the energy that leads to matter, in a sense. So they're the in between. They're the one being that sort of like, goes into both realms, if you will. They don't come into matter, but they come into the astral, which is close enough for us to be able to access them.
Well, I think it depends on your belief and what you
Of course,
believe
of
in.
course. I
Like,
can only speak with what I do.
so for me, like I would pray to Archangel Michael if I was struggling with something, if I needed help, um, if I needed guidance in that way. Um, yeah, mostly I use mostly for cutting cords,
Okay.
and it's a meditation. It's like there's a special meditation prayer also. If you're struggling with something, if you're depressed, you may want to call upon Archangel Michael to help you with get through a specific time in your life. Um, and it all goes with the intention. If you believe it's going to work for you, it's going to work for you. If you don't believe it's going to work for you, then it won't work for you. Because who wants to, speaking from an angel's point of view, who wants to help someone that doesn't believe?
So, okay, so if it's all about intentions, then my question becomes, is the angel actually something else? Or is the angel, is the angel responding to you, or do you, what is the interaction with the angel? At what level? Like, how do you,
In meditation, the same as you would interact with a person.
okay,
Just like
so,
in meditation, if you're doing guided meditation, assuming if you would imagine that you're walking down a stream or whatever your guided meditation is, you imagine that you meet up with this angel, and this angel can be whatever you want it to be. If you want to picture an angel with wings, that works. If you want to just picture an angel as a regular human being or as a ball of light, whatever you want to picture the angel as works.
okay, so now that would be, okay, so, all right. So then in that case, our intentions are what guides angels.
Definitely.
Okay. So
And that,
angels,
intentions couldn't work without calling upon, because I believe that some people need something to grasp onto. Some people need, just like God is within all of us, but we need that in human life. A lot of people that, especially people that aren't really awakened, need something to connect to.
okay, wait, what do you mean people that aren't awakened?
People that aren't spiritually awakened, that don't believe in spirituality, that follow religion. It's different for everybody. Everybody's different.
So I would fall in those people then, by that definition.
And that's fine. It's
Because
whatever
I
you,
believe in angels, because I believe in archangels and angels, I work with them.
and I believe in them too. I definitely
So,
believe. And I think
so,
most people do believe in them. But your intentions is still key, because if you're gonna so you work with angels. If you work with angels and you're not setting intentions or actually communicating with the angels, do you think the angel's gonna help you?
I don't think the angel, I don't think the angel um, my relationship with angels is a little different. They're their own person. My intentions are, I can let my intentions known to them, and I can,
Well, how do you work with angels? kind of take us through what you do?
Well, here's one example. I can take us through, but it could take a couple of minutes. But like using the Kabbalah, we do path working. So we travel all the different paths of the Kabbalah, and we do it of the Tree of Life. Sorry. And we do it through meditations, like excessively huge guided meditations, if you will. Where those guided meditations are key is that they have a whole lot of items in there. Like it is a very, very precise description of a temple, of a place with beings, with in particular one archangel who directs over angels. And through repeated use, what happens is you go in the temple, and as you become able to form that temple very well in the astral, now that archangel starts talking to you, and what starts happening next is the part that's actually like that you can't easily explain, is that the archangels start telling you things that you don't know. And that's where all of a sudden you go, oh, okay, this exists. This is a thing, because it's actually letting me know what it thinks, in a sense. Not really thinks, because they don't work that way, but...
Awaken. If you're not awakened and you're not actually having conversations with angels, even if an angel tried to give you a message or tell you something, you wouldn't pick it up, chances are.
No, I mean, angels operate on a whole different... They rarely ever appear in... Well, I don't think they ever appear as in matter. They actually appear in the astral. So, number one, somebody would have to train themselves to see, right? Because most humans don't see the astral. They don't have that vision. It's something you have to train. It's like a muscle. It's like if you had never used your arm in your entire life, and all of a sudden you said, oh, I want to use my arm. It's like, well, yeah, guess what? It's not going to work super well at first. You're not going to go throwing baseballs.
But angels can present themselves as matter, because most humans need something to connect to. That's what I was getting at earlier. Like, most humans don't grasp the idea of how we actually exist in the astral world as energy. Like, their perception of us is in a human body.
Yeah, the thing is, grasp or don't grasp, it's part of you. And so if an angel appears, it appears. If it happened in that way, but it usually doesn't.
Well,
It usually doesn't. The people that have angel apparitions usually have some sort of involvement with some sort of spiritual something. They're not just like, you don't get people randomly walking down the street and all of a sudden they go, holy crap, man, I saw an... Like, you see more people see aliens than angels. Way more.
personally,
the
stories in my first book.
Yes, each of those people were involved spiritually.
I wasn't at the time. I wasn't open. It was my first experience, actually. Memorable experience was with angels.
Okay, so what happened?
So that's a whole nother story that we
Yeah,
talk
but it's
about.
the Jill stories that we want to hear.
That's a long. It's kind of a. I don't think it's a story that I feel comfortable telling myself. I feel more. I'm okay with people knowing the story. And I was okay with writing the story, but actually talking about it is more of. I don't think it's something that I can talk about.
Okay.
But let's just say that it did happen to me at age 16. Um, Now, having said that, do I know which angels it was? No, I don't. I know it was angels, but I don't know which ones. Um, okay, let's move on. I believe that A lot of people are also familiar with let's talk about how some people think that when you pass on you gain your wings is what a lot of
Yeah.
um that's impossible. Can we agree that angels have never been in human form?
Um, Following a certain pattern, it depends on what you list. It depends. It can be both ways. Like, I'm okay with both theories, with both answers, because I don't have a way of knowing both either way, and I my theory of the universe allows for it, but I can't prove one direction or another,
Mhm.
but it allows for both. So,
But anything is possible. From my experience, I don't think that angels have been in human form.
well,
Because
not in matter. They haven't been in matter. No,
I think they can show themselves that way. Um,
not
Most
in
of
matter. They have to show themselves in the astral, in dreams, in no angel. Like, if you read anywhere in the Bible, anywhere, angels have never appeared in physical form to somebody. They appear in dreams. They appear in visions. They appear in like anything that has to do with connecting with the astral. They don't have a
well,
physical body.
that's the same way we connect with spirit. Like we don't have a physical body when we connect with spirit, but they show themselves as having a physical body.
Well, no, a physical body would be something you can see in your kitchen. Like grabbing your watermelon and throwing it at you.
So some
That
people
is
do,
physical.
but that doesn't mean that it's actually physical. It's an impression on your mind that it is. Doesn't mean that it actually is.
Well,
Like
yeah. Then it's
you couldn't
then
go
it's
up and
astral.
touch
Then it's astral.
right,
That's astral. That's
but
what the
but
astral
to
looks like.
the person who's having the experience, it can seem physical.
Well, it can seem, yes, of course. The astral always looks real. The etheric is pretty much not a copy, because there's additional items, if you will, but it can be a copy of everything we have here. This is what makes it so. This is why the first level you cross is called the sphere of illusion, because you enter the realm of dreams and things become unclear. It becomes very unclear what's true, what's not, because you start learning, and our evolution goes through there, right? Because we start learning about a gazillion different practices and a gazillion different angels, and for some people it's even aliens, right? And there's a theory that says that aliens and angels are actually the same energy manifested in two different ways. Again, I don't know, but my worldview allows for both. So it's like, because really all we're ever doing is refining energy from source and turning it into matter. And when we're working with beings from the astral, now we're actually we're removing some of the limitations that matter has, right? Like, example, people say, right, when they travel in the astral, they go to Paris, right? Well, okay, what are my odds of doing that physically? Of just getting up right now, going to Paris, and coming back by the end of the podcast. Like, that doesn't exist in the physical world, but it
Right.
exists in the astral world. That's an ability that we have, but we only have it in that world. Now, that is the most useless use you could make of your astral body. But some people choose to do that, or they don't know better. That's all they ever learn. They learn to project their body, and then they go, okay, great, we're done. And it's like, no, now that you can project your body, start working with what's present in the astral, and including archangels, and then start learning. And that's the whole thing, right? It's what you're doing is you're opening your vision to that realm. When you do that, as you meet angels, what starts happening is you're not, like, I think when you mentioned the intentions, my where my brain went, and it may not have been where you were going, but it was like I was thinking, no, I don't want to tell the archangel what to say or what to do. That's the whole exercise, is I want to become receptive to the archangel. And all of a sudden, what starts happening is you start getting information. And you start receiving and making links and learning about things that go with other things. And all that starts happening. And you kind of go, it's all stuff I didn't know. How could it come from inside me? How could it be just me, right? Making it up, since it's not something I know. But at first, in order to train that muscle, you have to do guided meditations and do it that way.
Agreed. But you also have to have an open mind.
Well, that's for anything. That's for anything spiritual. Like, I think a big part of the awakening is opening your mind.
Definitely.
I think that's a huge part. Are you seeing chats on your page? Because I'm...
No, I'm trying to find it. That's what I'm doing. Because I'm not.
Okay, wait up. Are we here live right now? Okay, we're there. We're live.
I see it live, but I'm not.
Today at 8 p.m. What?
Yeah.
I don't see us live on Live with Jill and Franck.
It's on my page for sure.
See, this one says plans to go live. Okay.
Bear with us because we are not familiar with.
Sorry, guys. Okay, I know it was live on my YouTube. Okay, let me go see the event on my... Sorry, guys. We apologize. Okay, let me put a comment in there, see if it comes up to us. Okay, so in Restream, do we get that? Okay, here we are. Okay.
Got it.
So on YouTube, I'm there. Live with Jill and Franck. Okay, here we are. Happening now, Archangels. Watch live video. Okay, that's cool. Okay.
So we're looking for people to interact with us, share the live, spread the word, give us your opinions. You don't have to agree with us. We're fine with that. We don't agree with each other most of the time. So that's fine. We just want to share our opinions and views. That doesn't mean that everyone has the same opinions and views, and that is fine.
Okay, I had us like at 3 different places, so I kept on hearing all of us like nonstop. It was coming from 3 places. So it seems to be working. We just have nobody. Feel free to comment, people. We are attempting to know if we exist in the Facebook and YouTube realm.
Okay. But this says you went live 49 minutes ago, and then again 29 minutes ago. That's not good.
29 minutes is what I have here. Yeah, 29 makes sense.
49 and 29.
49 doesn't make sense, so 29 is the only good one. All right.
Okay, back to the subject.
So yeah, we're there. We're
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Okay.
So, if even if you're catching the replay, we still want to hear from you in the comments with suggestions for upcoming shows. Um, Comment on our comments. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you'd like to talk about, what your interests are, and if you have questions about anything regarding Frank's coaching or my readings, you can send us a comment there, or you can private message us. That's fine. Um, Frank.
Yeah. Um, if you want, I'll show you a little bit of that pathworking I was talking about. Like basically, all right. So let's say we would start at the bottom. I wouldn't even read any of the upper ones because it might not be a good idea. If anybody wants to close their eyes or do whatever to follow, but it is a guided meditation. But it's just to give an idea of the kind of environment you would create. And in this particular case, let me try to bring it where we speak to the archangel here. Well, okay, we get there fairly fast. So, all right. So in your mind's eye, you see yourself facing the gate to the astral temple of Malkut. A large door is in front of you. The door is divided into 4 colors: citron, olives, russet, and black. The colors form triangles, which come together in the center of the door. Carved into this portal is the letter Mem, the initial letter of Malkut, painted in white. Astrally, you give the protection sign and then step through the door into the temple of Malkut. Once on the other side, you give the sign of silence. The temple is a great 10-sided chamber with walls built from heavy brown earthen bricks. The floor is divided into black and white tiles. Enormous oak columns encircled with thick vines support the ceiling of pure rock crystal. In the southern side of the temple is a great roaring earth. Embedded in the western wall is a blue mosaic relief of an eagle. The mouth of the bird forms a spout from which water gushes into a basin at the bottom of the mosaic. To the north is a large round grey millstone used for grinding grain. In the east is a great brazier of incense made of gold. The scent of dittany fills the air. In the middle of the chamber stands a black altar carved out of solid oak. It is covered by a cloth which is divided, like the door leading to the temple, into the colors of citron, olive, russet, and black. The center of the altar cloth is white, and on it is a bright burning flame. Drawing nearer to the light, you intone the divine name of the temple. Adonai Haaretz. The flame burns brilliantly as you do so. Next, you intone the name of the archangel who governs the forces of this sphere. Sandalphon. Then you vibrate the name of the angelic order who operates in Malkut, the Ashim, the souls of fire, who are the essence of the sacred temple flame. Ashim. They are angels of adoration who dance like floating embers around the central altar fire. They are in fact the souls of human beings who are dedicated to the service of the light. Within the swirling clouds of incense in the east, a figure emerges. Appearing as a tall feminine form in robes of citron, olive, russet, and black is the Archangel Sandalphon. With dark hair and compassionate brown eyes, instinctively you give the sign of the Emperor. Sandalphon answers with the sign of silence. She speaks. You have entered the realm of the resplendent intelligence. By what symbol dost thou enter therein? You answer, by this symbol of the equal-armed cross. You hold up the cross. You face the archangel across the light of the altar as she directs your attention to the temple flame, burning radiantly in a bowl of crystal. Prepare to enter the immeasurable region, she tells you. Anyway, I can't keep on going forever. It's pages and pages and pages, but but that gives you an idea of the so basically you enter the temple of Sandalphon. In this particular visualization, you receive a particular story and a particular message that has to do with the initiation of that particular energy. But then over time, if you practice it, well, what ends up happening is that particular temple, right? That 10-sided temple with the altar in the middle, and it becomes easily recognizable. It becomes a real place for you, right? And so now you're building 32 real places with 32 archangels and 32 choirs of angels that you're, it's kind of a funny term to use here, but you're building relations with, right? Like they are beings, so you kind of just, you can't, they're not like demons you can command. Angels you can't command. You can actually, you can sort of, but you can't. They'll listen to you, but you can't command them the same way. You don't have that, well, we do have that authority, but anyways. It's not the exact same as a relationship, I guess is. And that's the other thing, the video I was telling you about today there, that's one of the things they were talking about, because they were talking about archangels, but they were also talking about demons, right? And one of the things they were saying is that archangels, they're parts of our higher self, right? And so all the archangels represent all the virtues, right? All those virtues are virtues from our higher self. The demons, now where people have this burning hell and whatever, if you look at what the demons represent, they represent our vice. They represent our ego pushed to the extreme. And so the demons are the ego. And the archangels are the higher self, which is why you have control over the demons, but the higher self is the part controlling the show. So you don't, you know what I mean? The relationship is very different between the two. But the demons are your ego, is basically the different parts of your ego personified. At least in the system I use.
And angels aren't?
Well, they're parts of your higher self. Like one is the virtues, and the other one is the ego. Like everything that sloth, avarice. No, that's in French. Like the 7 deadly sins, right? Like there's 7 demons that rule over those. Like every part of our ego pushed to the extreme is personified by a demon, right? And the opposite is true with archangels. They're beings that were made for us to be able to work with. Like they're not. There's a reason people have seen them, and there's people that see them daily. Like it's not. It's so strange to me that people are able to acknowledge the fact that they are one with God. And then when it comes to those things, like, they take on a shape as if God was something else above us. And it's like, no, God is us. Like it's the one, we are the one thing. We are it, and it is us. And so once you work with that, well, archangels and demons and all those things are parts of us. But they're also parts of the outside of us.
So do you believe in hell?
I believe in hell and heaven as being states, as being here. Both of them are here.
So where do we go when we die? Like what happens?
When we die, we either reincarnate or we move on.
Immediate. If you move on, where are you moving on?
you become a different form. You become a different energy. That's all. It's just energy. It's nothing fantastical. It's not a like. There's no. I can't describe it because it's not human. It's energy. It's where do we go? We go to energy, but that energy has countless amounts of shapes, right?
So if the energy here that we are energy here. If that energy is able to do all these things, then you think that we are just like there and not capable of anything else after we die?
Well, not in terms of humans, because then we're not humans. Why would we?
But you don't need to be human to be able to do
Like,
real things.
why would I need to use a spoon if I'm energy?
Well, I don't believe you eat in heaven.
Well, no, but that's what I mean. Like whatever I go to, like it doesn't resemble human life. Like we make it resemble human life in order for our understanding, but the truth is, it doesn't. Everything we've experienced of it, it's not a place. Like it's not a a place that you go to. Like it transcends time and space. Like a place would have to be in matter. It would have to be like in this plane. Places only exist for us. Places don't exist for God. Well, they exist in the sense that it's His creation, but it doesn't exist. Like He doesn't have to go from place to place. Like He doesn't sit at breakfast. He doesn't, like, none of the things we do as humans apply to him, her, it. Why can't we have something that we can use for that?
So what do you think happens to people that do like horrible things?
The exact same thing that happens to people that do really good things. Except while they're still in the wheel of life, they have to come back and fix all that karma. But that's pretty much it. Like there's no ultimate, like you will be judged and blah blah blah, and God will sit and go, so what did you do with your life, and like all that. It doesn't. To me, it doesn't exist. Like that's not a thing. What's that?
I don't believe that either. I'm just trying to grasp like your belief because it's such different beliefs than I have, and it's like such out of the ordinary from my experience.
And they're very hard to explain anyway. Like they're excessively hard to explain because they're not beliefs, they're experiences. It makes a difference. It's like if I was trying. It's like describing to you what an apple tastes like. That's why I keep on saying, try the apple. Because there's only one way. Like that's my biggest problem is everybody would want. If I could bottle all of it, people would buy it, right? If I tell somebody I will sell you a bottle of enlightenment, I will have billions of people knocking at my door buying bottles of enlightenment. If I tell people they have to work a week to gain enlightenment, I've already lost half the people. If I now tell them that they have to dedicate an entire lifetime to it, I've lost almost everybody. That's the problem. That's what's needed. That's how you gain enlightenment. Nobody's ever been like, you've never seen a guy like Bill Gates go like, hey, you know what happened this weekend? I got enlightened. Right? Like, those guys are not anywhere near enlightenment. Like, they're like living in the densest matter you can find. Like, their God is money. And so, and here's the deal, right? Okay, here's a thing. I say their God is money. All right, so here's 3 different scenarios, right? There's a person who lives like the let's call it the Pharisians of the Bible, right? Like they're living rich and spending, and they're the people that are like living and their God is money between bracket, and in the Bible they would have said they have their false gods and da 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 da. Then You have the people that believe in some model of religion where there's a God, that God rules over everything, there's a good, there's a bad, and we try to do good as much as possible. Then there's people that awaken. Now, is one of the, like, somebody can go through all of those levels. Does the one become not true because you now see the next one? Or does it still remain true for the other 80% of the population that are still there? And it's needed for those souls because that's where they're at. And then the next and next.
Like, nobody has the same experience.
No, we have similar experiences, but we can't have the same experience ever.
Right.
We can't. That cannot happen.
There are some experiences that are way off from others. Doesn't mean that they're not right.
Nothing. There's no right or wrong. That doesn't exist. That's a human concept.
What I'm getting at is
That is where you're getting at. Is that it's not wrong. It's if you
right.
came here and you said there are 14 archangels and
I'm trying to explain it to where people that are not enlightened understand what we're saying, because a lot of
Okay.
people don't understand what we're talking about. And I mean,
okay.
that's what I'm getting at.
So how
So
well the okay, here's the deal. The same three people we were just talking about just now, right? If I go to Bill Gates, how long will I sit with Bill Gates and try to explain to him not even awakening, just basic religion? There may be a God, right? I could spend the rest of my life sitting with that guy, and at the end of it, guess what? He still doesn't know. So I like, I always hope to touch as many people as possible, but I don't know that I can. There's some of the things I say, I know only some people understand them, and I don't know. I can't fix that. I don't know how. I don't have the words to explain some of the things. Like, I don't know how to explain things like the vision I told you I had in the woods yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't know how to explain these things. Like, I don't. How does that even make sense to the average person? Not like. Yeah, you're hitting on a frustration I have, because if you figure out how to make it so that I can say it in a way that
well, I think the only way to say it is basically like you have to have your own experience. We can't tell you how the experience is going to go.
that's exactly it.
You have to be able to do that for yourself and find that in yourself. But the only way to get there is to be open enough to allow it to come, open minded and ready to receive whatever you get and whatever your experience is going to be.
And for some people, like, archangels are going to be, they're going to be like, what in the name of God are those? What the hell? And they're not going to gel with that, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. There's different ways of getting to the same places. It's very and some people will come at it from a very, very intuitive way. Some people will come at it like I've been the last 2 years. I've been going around Facebook and trying to identify people that have had, like, some like weird experiences, and I try to go talk to them. And I've had a few people tell me some really weird stuff. Like there was one girl that downloaded. It's called Gematria. It's a numerology for Hebrew alphabet. Let's just call it that for now. But she all of a sudden had an awakening, and she was like, I can do math. I learned to do math. I don't know, my math doesn't make sense to everybody, but I can do math and I don't understand. And I was like, what the hell is she talking about? And so I said, hey, let's do a live, and well, not a live, but a chat, and let's see what you're talking about. I want to learn more about that. And she started showing me, and I was like, well, okay, what you're doing there is called gematria, and it's Hebrew numerology and whatever. And she went online and went like gematria and started looking into it, and she was like, oh my god, that's exactly it, you put a name on it, that's what I've been seeing. And I was like, holy crap, how did somebody like out of the blue just download something like that, just boom, right? So for me, like, I see weird experiences I can't explain.
You're gonna understand it.
Yeah, well, that's it. I don't have to, but it's really like it's insane. Like, it's magical. It's and I've met people with experiences like that. So it's like, for me to think that I could explain everything to everyone, it doesn't make sense, because everybody's going to be different. And we all have a path to follow, and in some way, like we were talking about soul contract. So if we want to use that terminology, we all have our own soul contract. We all have our own, I mean, here's the deal, right? Anybody would look at this, right, and go, here's Jill and Franck right now having a podcast experience together, right? Now, they see us together. They see us as one thing happening. We're thousands of miles apart, in completely different environments, having absolutely different experiences with this podcast. So if we both left and wrote a page or whatever, wrote an essay about what the podcast was, it would be very different. Very different.
I'm glad you said that, because that's my view on the Bible.
Yes, the Bible and the Quran, all they all tell the same story from different standpoints.
Right, because it's been rewritten. Like, even if you have, which a lot of the scriptures that's in the Bible is no longer, you can't get. But even if you had those scriptures and you had the person that read the scripture rewrite it in the Bible, they're going on their own version.
Even
So,
if you went to John and you said, John, rewrite John, you would have a different version.
right.
You see what I mean? Like, even if you asked the same guy, write it again, you'd get a different thing, right? Like,
That's my view on the Bible. I'm not saying that it's not, there's, that it's not, it doesn't have fact, but something changed so much that what's fact, what's, what's real, what's not real. We will never know.
I don't really ever use the Bible. Well, no, not ever. I can't say ever, because I grew up Christian, so I sometimes refer to the Bible stories. But I spend very little time actually pondering about much of it. Because to me, like, it's not practical. Right? Did Jesus say, read the Bible nonstop until... No, he said, go in the forest and pray. That's what he said. He said, go on your own and pray. When you want to talk to Dad, go there and pray. Did he say the Father? He did, eh? Yeah, that's where the whole friggin' patriarchy came from. Friggin' Jesus. It's all his fault. Can you believe that? Oh God, I'm gonna get flamed for this. He started the patriarchy. Can you believe it? I have just started. Yeah. I apologize, everybody. Those were jokes. But yeah. Oh God.
Alright,
So do we have anybody with us? Can anybody, outside of us say hello? I tried to say hi from my...
I did. You can see my comment on the side.
Yeah, you did. Mine didn't work. Okay. Why do I only have one person reached on Jill and whatever? Oh, because, yeah, it's that one. Okay. Well, I guess we're pretty much done talking about angels, you guys. And so sometimes we do that. Well, let us know in the comments, even if it's not during the live. I mean, if you comment and you ask us questions at any time.
We look at comments throughout the week before our next live.
We might let us know if it would be a good idea for us to start a group for the people that come and watch us, so we can have discussions about topics, and we can have, if that's something
on and discuss something. Anybody with experience with angels other than me want to come on and talk with us just for
and talk about their experiences. Yes.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
And then one day when we're off, I'll have to hear about yours.
I have a feeling that's today. Should we play the video again before we end, or are we just going to end straight?
I think we're good. It's 9 on the nose. I mean, if people want to see it, but then again, like it's
going to be on the beginning anyway.
So I think we're good. You guys, thank you very much for coming. Whoever you were, we had a hard time seeing you guys, which we didn't on the other platform. So we'll have to see how that works out.
Here earlier, because she sent me a message that she shared the live out.
Oh, cool.
So
we may see. We might see some of the.
Let me see.
Well, we're learning, you guys. So
we're going to be back on the 22nd at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's next Thursday at 7. Topic is to be decided. We have not decided on the topic yet. So if there's a topic you want to hear, let us know in the comments, and we'll see what we can do.
Absolutely. We would welcome topics. All right, guys. I love you. Have a good night. Take care.